Shalom, 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 friends and family. Shabbat, shalom. Welcome back to another daily Bible study. I am the Hebrew Jamaican Coolie, and with me, as usual, on this Bible study is my lovely wife, Ashley. And we're just going to be talking about regular things, the current news, and we want to continue. We want to continue to encourage our people and embolden our people to continue to prepare for the time that is coming that we can obviously now observe more than ever. All right, we're going to talk just about a little bit of stuff today. We're not going to be talking about like too much, but we do believe like every week as we have the opportunity to bring out these Bible studies, to bring out these Bible verses, to bring out these warnings, we do believe that we have a responsibility as the people of the Most High to continue to warn each other, to keep each other abreast, and as we have a platform to get that information out there to those who are listening. Now, as I've said before, and I've said many, many times again, even if it's two people listening, this message is for you. If it's one person listening, this message is for you. The fact of the matter is that I am not seeking YouTube monetization. I have stopped seeking it years ago. Not years ago, sorry, months ago. I just said to myself, you know what? I don't really care about it right now because as the world is coming to an end, it really and truly does not matter. It really and truly does not matter at this point in time. Right now we should be preparing for the Most High with what little money we have, and getting our houses in order by getting our spirits right, by repenting, by telling others to repent, by focusing on the Most High, by praying to the Most High, by communicating with the Most High, by communicating with our brethren and our sistering as best as we can, by trying to wake up others, by trying to warn them. One of the main things that I had on my TikTok was somebody, this woman talking to me, talking about how we should be helping each other, but she's not a Christian. She's not, even though she's not a Christian, she's not a hypocrite. Let me remind you about the 10 virgins. 5 were foolish and 5 were not. You understand? There are people in this world that are preparing themselves for the Most High's coming, and there are people who are not preparing themselves. They're not heeding the warning that the bridegroom is coming, and that is the main story of what he was talking about. Yahweh Shai himself was telling this story. Yahweh Shai himself was telling the story about the 10 virgins. As a matter of fact, let's get that right now. Before we even get into anything else, let's get that story right now. Let's get the 10 virgins, right? The story of the 10 virgins, right? KJV. Let's get that story right now. Okay? And then shall the kingdom of heaven be likened unto 10 virgins, which took their lamps and went forth to meet the bridegroom. And 5 of them were wise and 5 were foolish. Who were the wise ones, right? When you read on, you're going to say those of them who were wise and those of them who were foolish. They that were foolish took their lamps and took no oil with them, meaning that these people did not prepare earnestly for the time, for the tribulation that is coming. That is coming. Right? You have a lot of people out there that are not heeding these warnings, that are not paying attention to what is going on, that is not paying attention to the time that we are currently in right now, and are not preparing themselves spiritually, physically, mentally for the time that is coming. You understand? But then turn around and expect those of us who have prepared to help them out. We're going to read on. But the wise took oil in their vessels with their lamps, while the bridegroom tarried. When somebody tarried means like they're basically taking their time coming. They're kind of a little late. They all slumbered and slept. Right? Everybody is sleeping at this point, right? But you still have 5 that are ready and 5 that are not ready for when the bridegroom comes. And at midnight there was a cry made, Behold, the bridegroom cometh. Go ye out to meet him. And all those virgins arose and trimmed their lamps. And the foolish said unto the wise, Give us of your oil, for our lamps are gone out. But the wise answered, saying, Not so, lest there be not enough for us and you. But go ye rather to them that sell and buy for yourselves. Do you understand what is happening? Those of us who are preparing ourselves for the long run of what is going to be happening are getting ready for the bridegroom for when he does come. So when you looking at me now and you're on my TikTok saying about how I should be helping people no matter what, I don't care if you're my skin color. I don't care if you are a Israelite. If you are Israelite and you did not heed the warnings and paid attention and read scripture and knew that this tribulation was coming and did not prepare for it, you are a foolish virgin, not preparing yourself for the bridegroom. And I'm not going to spend my resources that is supposed to be for me and my family and help you, and then it turns out that, guess what, when I do that, I end up losing out as well because of you and your carelessness and your lack of accountability of taking care of yourself. No, in the time of tribulation, everybody is supposed to be taking care. The only thing that I'm saying that is if that there are people that are actually preparing, those are the people that you're supposed to be getting together with, because those are people that are resourceful, that can actually help you. So helping each other, I'm not against that, but I am against helping people who are lazy and did not prepare themselves and did not heed the warnings that we've been always talking about every single week for a whole month. We try to come on and we try to warn you people. We're telling you people the time is coming. Get $20, buy some sausages. Get some money, buy some noodles. Get some money, buy this, buy that. If you did not heed that warning, that is not our fault. And you can't look at me and say, "Oh, I know you from YouTube. Can you help me?" and stuff like that. No, no. The answer is no. You didn't heed the warning. That's not our fault. That is not our fault. On the other hand, now if somebody says, "Hey, oh yeah, because of your video, I heeded the warning, but I didn't have enough, but I have this though to trade with you, or I can give this and you can give this," I am gonna more than likely be willing to help you, help that person. You understand what I'm saying? And while they went to buy, the bridegroom came, and they that were ready went in with him to the marriage, and the door was shut. So what you're asking me to do now is to not be ready with you by giving you of my resources, finish off my resources, not be prepared just like how you're not prepared. And then when the bridegroom come, I'm not prepared because you're not prepared, and I gave you and became unprepared with you. And then the bridegroom come and takes those that are prepared and shut the door, and I get shut out of that. And me and my family get no, thank you. Scripture says to work out your own salvation with fear and trembling. Work out your own individual salvation with fear and trembling. I have 4 wives and children to take care of. I don't have time to be taking care of no extra amount. No extra amount I take care of. I'm not telling you that from now. I don't care if you are Israelite. If you are a careless Israelite, that's on you. That ain't on me or on anybody else. Don't try to come with this whole heap of, we should be helping each other. We should be doing this. We should be doing that. Nope. You don't prepare yourself, then prepare to fail. I'm sorry. Fail to prepare to fail. All right. So let's move on from that. Afterward came also the other virgin, saying, "Lord, Lord, open to us." But he answered and said, "Verily I say unto you, I know you not." Him don't know you because you never ready for him. You did not prepare yourself for his coming. You did not prepare yourself for his coming. And then here's what the most Yahushua says. "Watch therefore, for ye know neither the day nor the hour wherein the Son of Man cometh." So when we're out here telling you people prepare, and you people aren't listening, you want to do what you want to do, you want to dance, you want to rap, you want to do this, you want to do that, and you want to chill, you're not hearing that food is getting expensive, you're not hearing that you need to stock up, you're not hearing that you need to prepare spiritually. And then you want to turn around and gaslight us and make us who were preparing feel guilty for not helping you who did not prepare. It ain't gonna go so. You understand? That's like a white people thing. Gaslighting for making you feel bad for doing the right thing. I'm sorry. That ain't gonna work on us anymore. Because at that point in time, none of that gonna work. Trust me. Some of us are going to be lucky, even those of us who are prepared. We're gonna be able to be. We're gonna be lucky if we're gonna be able to even use our resources before somebody breaks into our home and kills us and takes it. You people don't know what time is coming upon us when that time comes. There was a point in time when Israel was being starved out and women were actually cannibalizing their children.
We talked about it before.
And we talked about it before. You think that time is not coming again? You think that time is not. Listen to this. You people talk about how white people cannibalize nocturnally. You think that time is not coming again? You think that they're not going to group up and cannibalize our asses?
Just to add on to what you were saying, go to John 1:2-4. Well, John 1:2-3.
John 1, 2, 3. Not NIV though. You sure?
Go to KJV.
This is John 1 verses 2 to 3. You sure?
2 to 4.
2 to 4.
I'm sorry. John. Sorry, guys. Verses 3 and 4.
Verses 3 and 4. Okay. All right. Let me go to KJV.
First John.
Oh, First John.
Yeah.
Okay.
First John.
That's different.
Yeah, you were totally right. First John.
Because I was wondering why. Okay. That which we have seen and heard, we declare to you, that you also may have fellowship with us. And truly our fellowship is with the Father and with his Son, Yahushua Hamashiach.
Wait, no. What is in the word?
What are you seeing?
First John 2. First John 2, 3, and 4.
What? First John 2.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, sorry about that, friends and family. We apologize for that.
There we go.
Okay. Now by this we know that we know him if we keep his commandments. He who says, I know him and does not keep his commandments is a liar, and the truth is not in him. So all these Christian people too know who they're talking about how.
Because that's the thing, the bridegroom said, I don't know you. Why did he don't know him? Because y'all didn't keep the commandments. Y'all didn't make yourself prepared by keeping the commandments.
You didn't prepare yourself spiritually, you didn't prepare yourself physically, because when he started telling you to prepare yourself physically, that is also a commandment. Prepare yourself for the long run. Because you think it's gonna tarry, it shall not tarry. But we've been talking about this. The punishment of the USA, Babylon, the system itself, the people itself. It's coming. It's not tarrying. You can literally see what is going to happen. There is no, I've said this months ago, there's no way that the United States can wake up constant ant nest and not expect to get bitten by the ants. You understand? We can get into that another Bible study, in which Canada has said that it's no longer going to be trading with US. But I'm going to show you guys something today that's very, very important. Right? Because I've been in the word of Jeremiah for a good while now. And I'm just reading prophecy after prophecy. And I look at it and I'm like, it's just aligning with the US right now. Right? So let's start with this. Right? Trump tariffs wipe out $2 trillion. $2 trillion.
In one day.
In one day from US stock market.
Go on.
Do you people literally, really, and truly believe that these oligarchs are going to sit there and allow this to happen? You people have no damn sense. We're not talking about the man himself. We're talking about the people who are behind the scenes, the people who are behind the curtain, controlling everything. You really and truly think that they're going to sit down and allow this man to mess up their pockets without any form of consequences? It's either one out of two things. Let me tell you something, people. It's either they're ready to transfer to the new system, which is why they're allowing the old system to fail, because you can't have a new system unless you destroy the old system, or they're going to start serving on consequences to this man and start showing him who he actually is. Those are the only two answers we have right now. Roughly $2 trillion was erased from the S&P 500 index on Thursday amid worries that President Trump's sweeping new round of tariffs could plunge the economy into a recession. The damage the damage was heaviest in companies whose supply chains are most dependent on overseas manufacturing. Apple Incorporated, which makes the majority of its US sold devices in where? China, the biggest manufacturer of the world, right? Cheap products and also quality products come from China. It doesn't matter. You people think that Chinese products are just some cheap knockoffs. No, they have quality products in China. You just can't afford them. You go on like a lot of you Americans act as if you can afford stuff. You can't. Trust me. Lululemon Athletica Incorporated and Nike Incorporated among companies with manufacturing.
Man, you know that you okay. You know how food back in the day was to us. Lululemon is like that to them. They love Lululemon. Like one pair of yoga pants is like $100. They love you Lululemon. They're not gonna be able to afford no more Lululemon. Nope.
And Nike Incorporated amongst companies
Oh Lord.
with manufacturing ties to Vietnam were both down more than 12%. Target Corp, sorry, and Dollar Tree Inc.
Wow.
Retailers whose stores are filled with products sourced outside of the US trading lower more than 10%. Okay.
Now you know
Dollar store about to get high. Right, and you know a lot of us, we get our our plateware, our stuff like that from dollar store. Where you think all them cheap plateware they're coming so they can sell it to us at $1?
No, I do you one better. Now, I was about to say that's why it makes sense why the Dollar Tree went up in the first place. Because remember, it literally was the Dollar Tree, right? It became the $1.25 store, and now I think it's the $1.75 store. It's going up to $1.75, right?
It's not gonna be named Dollar Tree anymore because now
They got those products, and they have products in there that
are $5.
just like Five and Below. Remember Five and Below?
Everybody's trying to do the five and below thing now. It's not five and below. It's called Five Below. You know, it was a student that corrected me.
It's Five Below. So Five Below was $5 at one time, right? Every single thing, you would not find anything in there that wasn't $5 and below. We all know this, right? And then I want to say what, like 2 years ago, a year and a half, 2 years ago, we went up in there, and my husband bought a guitar, right? He thought it was $5 because it was Five and Below. That thing was $25.
$25 for the guitar.
I never saw anything in Five and Below that wasn't under, $5 or below. But now, sorry guys, the kids are playing in the background. Shabbat shalom. Well, I've never seen anything like that before, and then that's not including the tax. So if you get something at the Five Below store, taxes have went up, so it's not this $5 and like 5 cents that you're paying, or 5 10 cents that you're paying. You're paying almost $6 for one item, and that's assuming that item is $5 or below. It's crazy outside right now. We used to go to the Dollar Tree and get so many things for $20. like batteries, little stuff like that, like batteries and like baby powder, because at the time it was only um the only store that had talc free baby powder. And they used to be $1. We used to get like $20 worth and to stock up on them. But now $20 is not going to get you far in the in the
Mm-hmm.
Dollar Tree.
Mm-hmm.
The
Mm-hmm.
excuse me, the $1.75 tree.
Mm-hmm.
This is crazy.
This is crazy. We're getting there, right? Now, let's get some precepts. Revelation 6, verse 6. And I heard a voice in the midst of the four beasts say, a measure of wheat for a penny, and 3 measures of barley for a penny. And see, thou hurt not the oil and the wine. So that means that you're gonna still be able to cook. But what you're gonna cook, that's gonna be up to you. You're gonna cook some body parts, you're gonna cook some whatever. And wine is gonna be fine because a lot of you gonna have to drink yourself into a drunken stupor. A lot of you are going to have to drink yourself into a drunken stupor. So those are going to be the 2 main things that the Most High is going to allow for a lot of people to not be, not be affected by certain things.
And then and sometimes people look out at homeless people that are drunk all the time, especially during the day.
Mm-hmm.
And now you're gonna realize why they're drunk during the day. Because you're gonna be just like them.
Mm-hmm.
Just in a stupor, don't want to live with reality, and trying to drink the pain away.
Mm-hmm.
So
Scripture even tells you to do that, to give somebody give strong drink to a man who's ready to
go to war.
Go to war and perish. So let's get the next precept. Okay. So let me just say this, right? A lot of us are not paying attention to what is actually going on. And even if we're paying attention, we're not prepared. Like even myself, sometimes I fall into this state of comfort by just because I know the Most High and I know the Most High has 100% control over it. I haven't like fully been able to, but also that the Most High understands my situation in terms of monetary resources. But for those of us who can, if you have a $20, I keep saying it, I'm going to say it every week. If you have $20, you should be going to Aldi's. Get some chicken Vienna sausages packet, might be a little bit more than 20 now. 24 comes in the pack. Depending on how many people are in your home, you only need 2 cans a day. You understand? 2 cans, 24, that's 12 days of being able to eat that with you and your family. You understand? And then if you have $60, you can buy 3 packs of 24. That's a lot, right? I can't even calculate that right now, right? Why am I saying this? I'm saying this because these are very affordable ways that nobody can deny that we can take care of ourselves.
And like I told you guys before, we were supposed to do the video on how to make very cheap porridge. We didn't get a chance to do it. We will. Like I told you guys before, 1 cup of oats can feed 4 kids. And they'll, like I said, we make big bowls. We're not like talking about little minuscule bowls. Like soup bowls.
Our children eat a lot.
They eat a lot.
They eat a lot. They're Jamaican. They eat a lot.
It makes 4, like 1 cup of porridge can make 4 big bowls of. I'm sorry, guys. 1 cup of oats can make 1 big bowl, 4 big bowls of porridge. So, or if you had to break it up, it can make 8 small ones. I'm just saying. So, and like I told you guys before, they were like $2. I want to say like $2.50 for a big thing of rolled oats, but now they're like $4 at Aldi. So I don't know about the Dollar Tree. I haven't went in and checked the prices yet.
Right.
But I'm pretty much sure you can get oats, a big thing of oats.
Right.
$1.75.
Or $1.75. Yeah. You can still go in the Dollar Tree and get get 3 of those, get 4 of those, get 10 of those. Those will last you for months. You can eat them dry without anything. You can put even just you can just mix it up with sugar, dry sugar, and just eat it.
Yeah, or cinnamon, put it in a bag and just
We have done it back home when we were broke. That's what we used to do. That's what we're going to go have to go back to. There's no shame in the game when it comes to survival at this point in time, because people, when them see you start, you have your strength and stuff. People are gonna probably ask you what to do, and then you can say, "Hey, go get some oats, and I'll show you what to do with it." That time is coming.
And rice, guys, rice, rice. If you guys can go to Sam's Club, go to Costco, get a big thing of rice, 25 pounds. I think is I want to say $15. I would say just try to get one of those every week while you can before Costco and Sam's Club prices start to go up. And noodles, cup noodles, and stuff like that. You guys, we grew up a certain way. I'm talking to my, of course, we're talking to the Israelites, right? We grew up a certain way. You have to think in your mind, how did I grow up? I know a lot of us don't want to think about it because it was traumatizing.
It was hurtful. It's painful.
And we lived for so long where it's like, especially a lot of women, we digged ourselves out of their holes, right?
Yeah.
To like
be independent of the system and self-sufficient and stuff. Yeah, and I think just to add to your point that many of us, I don't think it's just like women alone, because many of us, even boys, who I believe may have had it harder, because there are times when boys don't have no one to turn to.
Right.
We have no one to turn to, where we just have to survive by ourselves. And you have to develop such a tough skin where you can. I was talking about this last night with certain situation where it became very difficult for me to trust being around other males, because I just felt like I could not trust it. Even at church, I felt like I could not trust them. I could not hug another friend that was the same age. I could not, I just did not trust males. I mean, and was for specific reasons. You understand what I'm saying? And I could not trust women either for specific reasons. So I just had this whole trust issue where I could not trust women and I couldn't trust men. You understand? So I just always felt so alone, even amongst my best friends, where I felt like we were so close, and I felt like I was so alone and by myself, and I couldn't trust no one. You understand? And then, growing up, reaching my 20s, that was a little bit better, where I start to learn to trust people again.
But we say all that to say this. We gonna have to dig deep and think about the way we grew up and how our parents
didn't have it.
They didn't have it, and how they did things. Y'all know how it is the first of the month. The mama get the food stamps in the house. It was good. You just got all the stuff, but as the month progressed,
things started to slow down. You eat less. You start to make things stretch.
And by the time that last week hit, you barely have
anything, and it's like you're hanging on by a thread, waiting for it to recharge.
What did you used to do? You gotta think about it. Well, what did you used to do? Because you may have to prepare your kid. You're going to have to prepare your kids for that. We live a life now, like all praises to the Most High. Our kids are actually, especially Jacob. He's a little bit overweight. Jacob and the baby is overweight. They're a little bit chunky. They're a little chunky. Our two oldest, they eat a lot. Especially Amy. She's growing up. She's going to be 7. In July. She eats a lot. She snacks a lot. She has 3 square meals a day and whatever else I may be munching on as well. You're gonna have to prepare your kids. And it's I think that's the one thing that that Muslims have on us, because they prepare their kids for Ramadan, right? And I used to work with a Muslim, and she said how she used to train her kids. She used to train them to eat later and later throughout the day. And then eventually when Ramadan rolled around, it wasn't a problem for them.
And I think that's what we have to try and start teaching our children too. We have to start like saying, hey, we're not eating breakfast. We're just going to eat like probably a late lunch. But by the way, too, remember now, most times we even eat breakfast at 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock. So it's not like we're getting up right away and eating right away too. We're eating at 1 o'clock. So I don't think it's that bad or that hard for us to basically teach our children to say, hey, you're going to eat like just probably dinner. because that's how I grew up. I grew up only eating one meal a day, and it was like very weird for me when my wife was like constantly making me eat like breakfast, lunch, dinner, breakfast, lunch. Because even though I was working and even though I had the money, I was not eating like constantly. I was eating just like only dinner, which is also still bad because when your body not working, you still gather weight that way. You understand what I'm saying? So I might not be as hefty, but I knew that I was like feeling like a little bit sluggish from eating at night alone. You know what I mean?
He didn't tell me this. You know how you just get in a relationship and you're happy and you want to cook. And even me, when he met me, I was underweight and I was in highly anemic. I was getting iron transfusions and everything because I was eating sometimes every other day. I was just basically living off of coffee and whatever snacks the boss will bring in. Like they would bring donuts in the morning, and sometimes patients they would bring in um like packages of cookies and stuff like that. I would just or like my coworkers they would bring in stuff, right? Like snacks. I would just live off of that. I wasn't eating properly or anything like that. But I didn't feel the effects of it at all. Right? I was eating like sometimes every other day a meal. So, with that being said, you can do it. It's not the best thing for your body, but you can do it. You think
You're not gonna have a choice.
Yeah.
When the time comes, you're not going to have a choice.
Most people they're like, oh, I can't take it. My blood sugar dropping. I'm hungry. No, you can do it. The first couple of days, like we told you guys before, or I think on the last podcast or the podcast before, um, first 3 days are hell, but after that, your body goes on autopilot. The adrenaline, the hormone adrenaline, which makes you hungry, it goes
It
down.
goes away,
It goes
yeah.
down.
And you get back your energy, and your life continues as normal.
You don't get dizzy. You're not having blood sugar spikes.
All you have to do is just not overexert yourself. You can still even jog to a certain point, but just don't make yourself like super tired. Because even though you might not be hungry, you're gonna get much more tired much more easily. You understand? So we're gonna move on to the next precept, and what we want to say is that America is going on like as if like when you look at what Canada is doing, Mexico is doing, China, Japan, and South Korea. Right? Look at this.
Oh wow, this is right up there.
Look at that. Look at this. China, Japan, South Korea will jointly respond to U.S. tariffs, Chinese state media says. Right? Look at this. Beijing, March 31st. China, Japan, and South Korea agreed to jointly respond to U.S. tariffs, a social media account affiliated with Chinese state media said on Monday. An assertion Seoul called somewhat exaggerated, while Tokyo said there was no such discussion. Oh, oops. The state media comments came after the three countries held their first economic dialogue in 5 years on Sunday, seeking to facilitate regional trade as the Asian export powers brace against U.S. President Donald Trump's tariffs.
So they talking. They
are talking. Like nobody is gonna come out in the open and say, "Yo, we are really doing this thing," but China will, because China is not afraid.
With Japan and South Korea.
Really and truly, if China really want to shut down the US right now, all it has to do is just basically shut down its manufacturing. That's it. And just don't do any manufacturing for the US. You people would really and truly see how powerful the US is right after that happens. Yeah, some people will give too much. I mean, anyway, it's just Americans always like this.
They are like prideful, and it's stupidity at the end of the day.
Arrogance and stupidity
together. It's one thing if you're like arrogant. It's like it's one thing if you're arrogant and you know you got it. You know what I mean? But you're just stupid with it. You're stupid.
As I've explained before, what's going to be happening right now is that as everybody moves away from the US is no longer going to be the world reserve currency. That's why the US is on top right now. If you don't know what the world reserve currency means, you can look it up, but let me explain it for you like real quickly. The US dollar is the only currency that is used worldwide. As strong as the Britain dollar is, it's not used worldwide. Maybe in certain places, yes, but not everywhere. The US dollar is the world reserve currency, which means every single nation on this earth will use the US dollar. in trade and whatever it is. That's what that means.
Meaning, like, if I go on vacation somewhere, right?
Mhm.
Anywhere, basically, I can have two options. I can trade them my money for their currency,
Right.
and just keep mine, and then they will
Yes.
accept it.
Yes, exactly. That's exactly what it
I
means.
can go anywhere with the US dollar. I can go anywhere.
And then if the world pulls away, if the world pulls away from the US being a world currency, all right? So let me tell you something, people. The Most High says, Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, Come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. The Most High, I tell you, every week we come on, we say the same thing. We say the same thing over and over and over again, and we're not going to stop saying it until it sinks in your head. We need to come out of her, my people. We need to come out of her spiritually. And when the time comes, we have to come out of her physically. Right? And we are slowly but surely coming out of her physically. What do I mean by coming out of her physically? You can come out of her physically, but not using her systems. You understand? Start just putting your money aside. Your physical dollars aside. Stop using the banking system to a certain extent. You understand? I know it's hard for all of us and stuff like that. Start putting down a little dollar, $10 here and there. Because you don't know when the banking systems fail if the money will still be valuable. If it is, then you have money put aside that you can actually use. If it's not, then we are all, screwed. All right?
And you know what? The crazy part about it is what they're doing. A lot of Esau, they're leaving the U.S. because they got the money to.
Mhm.
What's going to happen when
The dollar fails.
the dollar fails?
They're going to be kicked out.
The dollar fails, and even so, right? Even before that, he is pissing off all of these nations.
Mhm.
These nations can say, "Oh, say if they got $500, right? Your $500 don't mean nothing. Nothing now because we are
using our own currency.
Exactly.
So your $500 don't mean nothing. You're going for leave.
It's worth $100 now.
Uh-huh.
So all that money you done took your 401k and moved up. You done took your 401k and moved up out of here. Which your what? Like if you have $2 million, that $2 million is not worth nothing. It's worth $200,000, or even so as time goes on, right? It becomes worth 20,000, and then eventually 2,000. Depending on when you leave the U.S. So a lot of people have plans about leaving up out of here. I was hearing like on YouTube Shorts, a lot of Esau, they are going on vacation this summer and they're just not coming back. They are dipping
they're running to the so-called shithole countries.
No, they're going to a lot of quote unquote European countries, right?
Europe kicking them out of here.
Because a lot of them, if they're from Italy, right? I mean, if they're, what do you call it? Italian American, right? But their Nonna is in Italy, right? They go see her every summer. They're staying, hey,
we're not coming back
this summer. Kids, get your valuables. We leaving the house. We got people up here. They're gonna sell everything for us, or we're gonna get everything container shipped over here. But we are not coming back to the States. We can't afford it anymore. What's gonna happen when he pisses these countries off?
He is already doing that.
Piss them up to the fact where I pulled out my 401k early. I got my match or whatever. I got, like I said, my 2 mil or whatever. Say it's 2 mil. You go over to Italy now, and they said, "Oh,
that ain't worth nothing but 100,000 in ours."
Yeah. What you gonna do? So you have all these plans for getting a house, land, and now you're old, right?
And that money ain't worth the squat.
And your education ain't worth
diddly squat.
What you gonna do? You gonna have to work now. At your old age. Your kids that you moved up out of the U.S. Illegally. Gonna have to find new jobs, trades. That's if it's even jobs or trade. Because the whole world is going down right now, right? It's starting from Babylon on out. What you gonna do then? People aren't thinking about this. As Israelites, we have to think 5 steps ahead of everything that we do. We don't have the luxury of just splurging money and just packing up on a whim and just leaving. We don't even have half of us don't have money to go on vacation every year, grandiose vacation for like
Yes.
2-3 weeks and stuff like that. They don't have to think about that. They think, oh, I have the money, I can just up and leave. I don't want to.
And I'm gonna go to a shithole country and
Uh-huh.
buy up land there and live there because the locals love
I'm gonna go
us.
colonize.
I'm gonna go. Yeah, I'm gonna go colonize some land.
Esau go Esau.
Esau. Yeah, exactly.
They gonna do the same.
Esau going Esau.
And we're gonna make a little gated community over here.
Mm-hmm.
Bob.
And then block it off from the locals because this is my land that I colonize and by so-called rightfully. Get the frick out of here,
And that's
man.
what they do. But now he done pissed everybody off.
Mm-hmm.
You go to Mexico right now and try that.
Mm-hmm.
It ain't safe for Esau to be over there right now. This is the first time in history where it's not safe for Esau to be anywhere. This is not.
Because people are just getting sick and tired of American people. People are sick and tired of getting tired of Edomites too. All right. So Jeremiah 51 verses 45 to 58. I've been wanting to share this with you guys for the entire week. My people, go ye out of the midst of her, and deliver ye every man his soul from the fierce anger of the other one. Right? See, that goes back to Revelation 18:4. And I heard another voice from heaven saying, come out of her, my people, that ye be not partakers of her sins, and that ye receive not of her plagues. Do you understand? This is a warning that we need to basically come out of her physically, spiritually, mentally. A lot of us are stuck like Lot's wife, especially mentally. We haven't come out of this place mentally yet. We might move out physically, but most of us go and turn back around and wish we were back in Babylon. Just like how some of the Israelites were wishing they were back in Egypt. Oh, in Egypt we ate 3 meals a day and we're not starving in Egypt, and they fed us and blah, and we had housing and we had shelter and blah 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 blah. Many of our people are going to be like that, but guess what? Right? I'm not tired of sharing this verse, and I think I should always share it. Right? I'm not tired of sharing this verse, and I'm going to continue to share it. Ezekiel 20 verse 38. And I will purge out from among you the rebels and them that transgress against me. I will bring them forth out of the country where they sojourn, and they shall not enter into the land of Israel, and ye shall know that I am the Adonai, or Adawan. Right? Listen to me. Mosai, I've been, I'm glad that, prophecy ministry, he even went over this. He said the same thing. He said it softer because as a patient gentleman, I'm not a patient gentleman. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to give it to you straight. I'm sick and tired of rebellious men and rebellious women. I'm sick and tired of this whole back talk, this whole heap of fighting against authority. I'm sick and tired of this usurping of male authority as well. I'm sick and tired of feminine men. I'm sick and tired of super hyper aggressive men behaving in manner that they're not supposed to behave. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of it. I'm sick of driving past corners and seeing a bunch of young men on the corners holding down a freaking corner for what? What's the value of that freaking corner?
That you don't even own.
That you don't even own, that is city built. Stupid. We have women that raise these men and sleep with these men and breed with these men. No, you people need to be purged out from amongst us. You may be taken out of the land, but you, as the minute you act up, you're going to be put out to your misery, and that's what I'm happy about. No more talking, no more having to basically deal with you. Oh, let's do a debate. No, we're not going. There's no debate. There's not going to be no debate. The minute you run your mouth certain ways, you're just going to be wiped out from the face of Israel. We're not dealing with that. Israel don't want to deal with that. We've gone through too much, and we don't want to go through any more with our people. You understand? Now going back to Jeremiah, right? Verse 46. Unless your heart faint, and ye fear for the rumor that shall be heard in the land. A rumor shall both come 1 year And after that, in another year shall come a rumor and violence in the land, ruler against ruler. Do you understand what I'm saying, people? We're gonna continue hearing rumors every year now about war, about the system failing, about this, about that. You understand? You're gonna have rulers again. Who are rulers against rulers? The political system itself is consistent of several different rulers coming together under one house. So that's rulers against rulers, right? Democrats against Republicans. Those are rulers against rulers. District people who run them district against another person who runs their district. That is ruler against ruler. You have to basically put it into today's mindset of what that would mean, people. Therefore, behold, the days come that I will do judgment upon the graven images of Babylon, and her whole land shall be confounded, and all her slain shall fall in the midst of her. Then the heaven and the earth and all that there is therein shall sing for Babylon, for the spoiler shall come unto her from the north, saith the Lord. I don't know if you people understand what this prophecy means. This prophecy means that who America is going to be invaded from the north. That means that people are going to come, or their enemies are going to come through the north. The enemies of America is going to come through the north of America. They're not coming through the west or the east. They're coming through the north. So they might come through Canada or the lands that connect the top of the US. They're going to come through those areas and invade the US. Babylon. They're going to invade Babylon from the north. Right? This is prophecy. This is prophecy. This is what is going to come, people.
That's the reason why Canada said what he said.
Mm-hmm.
Yo.
Mm-hmm.
It's the reason why.
You see, when Vladimir Zelensky from Ukraine said that, you have all these seas. That's why you don't know any trouble. But don't worry, you will feel it soon.
A big ocean.
Because you have a vast ocean. You can say what you want to say. You can do what you want to do from your own mainland. You see, America has been very privileged to not experience war on its own land.
Exactly. We kind of sheltered from everybody.
Yeah.
Else. They made it so.
But that is what is going to come soon. You understand? That is soon coming to the United States. And it will be from the north. Scripture says it will be from the north. All right. As Babylon have caused the slain of Yasharallah to fall, so at Babylon shall fall the slain of all the earth. All right. Ye have escaped the sword. Go away, stand not still. Remember the Adonai, Adawan, afar off, and let Yerushalayim come into your mind. So when them times here come, we're supposed to be thinking about Yasharallah or Jerusalem. We are confounded because we have heard reproach. Shame hath covered our faces, for strangers are come into the sanctuaries of the Adawan's house. Wherefore, behold, the days come, saith the Adawan, that I will do judgment upon her graven images, and through all her land the wounded shall groan. Alright. Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength. Do you know what it means to fortify? Fortify means to basically make it stronger. She's going to try to make our walls them stronger. She's going to try to militarize certain areas and stuff like that. But it will not matter.
And they already did that. They already put military in certain areas.
At the borders. At the borders. Right? Isn't that going on right now? Isn't that going on right now? Though Babylon should mount up to heaven, and though she should fortify the height of her strength, yet from me shall spoilers come unto her, saith the other one. So basically, the Most High saying it don't matter. It won't matter no matter how much them, no high them build the wall or how strong them build the wall. People are gonna come in and spoil the land, destroy the land, and steal from the land. A sound of cry cometh from Babylon, and great destruction from the land of the Chaldeans. Because the Lord hath spoiled Babylon and destroyed out of her the great voice, when her waves do roar like great waters, a noise of their voices is uttered. Because the spoiler is come upon her, even upon Babylon, and her mighty men are taken. So your military gonna be wiped out. Right? And they shall sleep a perpetual sleep, and not awake, saith the king, whose name is the Sabaoth. Sabaoth means Lord of hosts. Those saith the Sabaoth, the broad walls of Babylon shall be utterly broken, and her high gates shall be burned with fire, and the people shall labor in vain, and the folk in the fire, and they shall be weary. All right. Receive this warning in the name of Yahweh Bahashem, Yahweh Shai. You understand? This is no joke. The time is coming upon us, and you people are not hearing. You still have Babylon going on like this. How much she had glorified herself and lived deliciously, so much torment and sorrow give her. For she saith in her heart, I sit a queen, and am no widow, and shall see no sorrow. This is still how Americans are, especially white Americans.
Shit. On the vacation.
They're still planning vacation. Them are going like say, oh, Trump tariff. He has to do this. He has to do
Wait,
this.
spring break, quote unquote, spring break is coming up. They planning spring break right now. They about that. They think they about that at the time of their damn life. They still going to the Whole Foods and what's the new one, Erewhon, and getting Botox. They're walking their little dogs, their coffee, and
$1 million. You see, the thing about it is that, do you know why it's so significant that right here is a problem? The $2 trillion is a problem. I'm going to tell you why the $2 trillion is a problem for the rich. You see, the rich, even if they're not super elite, those who are wealthy, they're realizing that this is not going to matter. Right? This is not going to matter. You know why? Because you see, in the day that the dollar loses its value, not lost its value, loses its value and becomes not, and everybody is just surviving by trade and by the skin of their teeth and by what they can provide and what they can trade and what they can give, the wealthy have nothing of value to give any of us. They are going to literally starve. Their money will not be able to save. Their houses will not be able to save them. Their cars will not be able to save them. Their titles will not be able to save them. They are going to starve. Well, I was a senator and I did this. Yeah, so what, bro? If you're hungry, go hunt your own food. Well, I believe that since I'm a leader, I should be partaking in this, even though I did. No, bro. Go hunt your own food. You don't have nothing to trade for it? Oh, I got $1 million I could trade for it. Yeah, money is worth shit here. Money don't mean shit. That's why they're scared. That's why whenever this happens, as I said before, do you really and truly think that the oligarchs are going to sit down, right? These super hyper wealthy people are going to sit down and allow this man to cost them money. Because without this money and the illusion of their wealth, that's why I call it an illusion. They don't have real wealth. What they have is fan fiction wealth. What they have is imaginary wealth that they created, that we have to buy into that belief that they are wealthy, because they don't produce anything that is worth wealthy. There's nothing that they produce that is worthy of wealth. You understand? Let me take off this because it looks very distracted. Can okay. This ad. Okay, great. Right? They produce nothing. Sorry. They produce nothing that is worthy of their own wealth. Being a pencil pusher, being a paper pusher and a pencil pusher behind a desk is not something that we can say is, we don't matter if it took an education to get that position. That's not something that really and truly keeps society moving. There is a huge illusion of wealth by people who created that illusion upon others. And the reason why it works is because we've always had to participate in that illusion of wealth. And so, because we participate in that illusion of wealth, they are able to continue to keep that wool over our heads or over our eyes, so that they are able to stand on top of the illusion that they have created that we have to participate in. But now that the illusion of wealth, it's fast approaching to its end, and they think that they're coming up again in the new world, and they don't realize, and a lot of these people don't realize that them coming up in the new world is that they're not going to be a part of the ruling class, because that's what they really and truly think. They really and truly think that the person, the devil that they're planning to do this new world order with, is that they're going to be ruling with him. They aren't going to be ruling with it. They're going to be at the bottom with the rest of us. They are going to be at the bottom with it. That's why they really and truly think. And that's the illusion and the trickery that they're going to be falling under right now. They think that they're going to be ruling with the devil and the antichrist and whatever it is, but that's not going to be the case. He has tricked them, and they're going to find out the trick when the time comes. When he says, oh, you thought that I really was going to share power with you or make you stay in your millions and trillions of dollars and stuff like that. No, I am the only God, etc. You guys are going to sit your butt down. You're going to go hungry too, or you have to go take the mark. You understand? Mark of the beast system. So a lot of people believe, a lot of wealthy people believe that they're going to escape the coming trials and tribulations, because they have, some people have millions, some people have billions, and some people have trillions of dollars. And they think that because of this, they are going to escape the coming tribulation, the coming problems that we're going to be facing right now. They're not going to escape nothing. And that's why they're scared when they see stuff like this happening, because a loss of wealth means a loss of power. And then they're going to get to a state of powerlessness, just like the rest of us. And the thing of the matter is, when it gets to a state of powerlessness, is that everybody is going to be their own, their own agent of controlling their own space. It won't be some politician telling you what to do, because the rule of law is going to be different. It's definitely going to be battle of the fittest. The strongest survive, the weakest perish. And these people who are basically paper pushers and pencil pushers and office sitters, they're basically going to starve out, because they have nothing. Like, as a matter of fact, a lot of them are going to be taken out physically. A lot of people are just going to seek them out and take them out physically when the time comes, because that is what they've earned. That is what they've deserved for putting pain on society for these entire time. You really and truly think that when the time comes, people are going to have the heart to protect you or help you sustain that power that you had? Your mansions are not going to be able to save you. Your bank account is not going to be able to save you. Your cars are not going to be able to save you. Nothing that you have is going to be, at that point in time, worth anything. Because you'll have criminals just come in and take over your house and live in it, and there's nothing you're going to be able to do about it. because they won't have any money to pay them.
I think even like in Los Angeles, they were talking about putting a voicemail for 911,
Mm,
having certain hours
mm-hmm,
in which you can call for help. That is crazy.
mm-hmm,
Can you imagine?
mm-hmm,
Can you
mm-hmm.
imagine you somebody breaking into your house, chaos erupting, and your first thought is to naturally to call 911, and you get a voice message for answering you back at our earliest convenience.
Mhm.
We appreciate your patience. This
Yeah,
hard time.
you're not gonna have those special companies that you can pay to protect you. You're not gonna have no police escorts because the police they're going to start protecting themselves and their families. So they're not going to even be at the police station.
They're not gonna have a choice.
They're not. They're going to be at their homes protecting their families.
There's gonna be a situation where, like in New York, they had left. They left the bathrooms open. You remember what happened in New York a couple of weeks ago? All the officers walked out of the prison
Mm-hmm.
and they left the bathroom doors open.
Mm-hmm.
I think they locked up all the food, but of course they can get in there and get everything. And they locked the doors of the prison, right?
Mm-hmm.
And they just walked off the job.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
What you gonna think happens when some prisoners get out? Or a couple of weeks ago, before that, it was in another country where the prisoner. We talked about this.
Where they escaped and they
They
just were
they
doing stuff to
they
women.
raped and murdered and
And it was two prisons too, because it was the female prison that was escaping and the male prison that was escaping.
but
So the males raped the women.
and they burnt everybody alive.
Mm-hmm. That they
And
that they
then
did
they
it too.
they ain't catch none of them.
Mm-hmm.
You ain't hear no more about it. What you think
Mm-hmm.
finna happen if you live next to a prison?
Mm-hmm.
If you live, especially like a lot of these Caucasus Mountain people, they live next to prisons down south.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if you've heard about uh this prop boy gang of officers that were abusing, the inmates and stuff. A couple of them apparently. Remember, it was like a squad. Remember,
You
they
mean the
came
one
in
in
there
New
like a
York?
gang. I forgot what the
It
state
was New
was.
York.
No, they came in there like a gang, right? And they were like beating up people, and they were talking about it, and they were happy about it. Come to find out that they were using some of the inmates um to fix their houses. They were using them as slaves, basically. Mhm. And this happened a couple of days ago. All of this let out, right? Can you imagine? Now, can you imagine a situation where you've been abusing these inmates for years? It's a known wild thing, and they get a chance to escape. Where you think they coming to? Where you think they coming to? They know where you live because you done took these people to your house to do work,
Mm-hmm.
to use them as slaves. Where you think they coming to? It's about to be total anarchy.
Mm-hmm.
Total anarchy.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely.
No 911. It's gonna be like LA. Go in there, steal what you want, take what you want,
Do what you want.
do what you want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody getting arrested, and even if so, they'll just let them right out. It's gonna be crazy.
Mm-hmm.
You're gonna have to walk around with that thing on your hip, even if you have to go outside.
Mm-hmm. On your hip, on your back, holding on to the trigger itself. So if somebody grab it, you just pull the trigger same time.
Yeah, it's no medical emergencies. You gotta go to the hospital. Ain't no
Can't.
hospital.
Yep. That's the next thing that a lot of people don't realize. See when a lot of these people were talking about civil war and that they're gonna do this and do that, they've never taken into account, like, you know if there's gonna be any hospital for injuries that they'll sustain during so-called civil war.
Mm-hmm.
And they think that they're going to be the only side that doesn't have any casualties.
And not only that, what you think is gonna happen to your wives and your children
Mm-hmm.
if something happens to you during the Civil War?
Mm-hmm.
That's what I said.
They're gonna starve because
Esau don't think about that fallout.
they've never had to.
They never had to.
They've
They
never
think
had
I'm
to
just
think.
gonna go and do things and be
And
glorious.
win, and yeah, it will be glorious, and I come back and movies and all that stuff. But no, it's a different time.
Mm.
It's totally a different time where people are no longer just like taking your BS anymore. And people are literally fighting back. And that's what they're not used to. That's why they're calling victimhood right now, because they're used to just doing stuff to you, lying about it, and pretending to be the victim, and then believe to be the victim, and then people cheering them as the victim. Even people are of the same race cheering them as the victim. But then now, when they are actually really and truly, because they are no longer the predator and they've been turned into the victim, they don't know how to respond to it. And that's what's going on right now. They've been the predator for so long, they preyed on people for so long, that when people actually turn around and fight back and give them exactly what they've been dishing out, they can't take it. They can dish it out, but they can't take it at all. You know? So let me tell you something, people. Here's what we're going on right now. First Thessalonians 5 verse 3. For when they shall say peace and safety, then sudden destruction cometh upon them, as travail upon a woman with child, and they shall not escape. A lot of people have been saying it, and I'm going to also say, do not pray for Edomites.
Nope.
Enough prayer, and you don't know if by your prayer, if the Most High is actually held back. And this is why our people continue to suffer under their hand, is because we have stupid women and stupid men still hunking it up for them, hawking it up for them, and loving evil people. No, stop praying for them. Stop praying for them. Yes, pray against them. Literally pray against them. Pray that the Most High breaks their bows. You understand? Pray that the Most High breaks. It's in Jeremiah right here. I believe I had found it, where it says that the Lord shall break their bows. Right? The Lord will break their bows. The Most High is going to break their bows, their weapons of destruction. And this is why we don't have any fear right now, because later on I'm going to try to do the video with Enoch and Jude and Yahushai, talking about the land of the of where we go when we die. And even prophecy ministry, now he was basically, at first he was like the Seventh-day Adventists that don't believe that you go somewhere when you die, and then reading more scriptures that is actually supporting it. I'm glad that there are a lot more people that we're all reading, and we're all willing to admit when we need to correct ourselves on it. So later on, I'm going to see if I can push out another video later on tonight, later on in Shabbat, where I'm going to be talking about what happens when you pass away. But listen, you see all these Edomite people who have nothing in their hearts but hatred for us, disdain, and so-called they have some sort of righteousness, self-righteousness. They're going to go to a place of torment when they pass away immediately. The angels are going to carry them to that place of torment. And that's going to be their first judgment. And the second judgment is that they're going to be to the lake of fire. Because when they resurrect, they're going to resurrect, see us in power after 1,000 years, and say, what the hell is this? I can't believe black people is in power. I need to come together with my people and stop this. And they're going to be completely destroyed by our Adonai. You understand? So right now, don't pray for them.
It was even this one. I don't know if you can go to this one. They already basically show who's inmates labor and family farm. It's crazy. We're gonna do another. Yeah, it's crazy. Mm-hmm. He was behind the Goon Squad. That's what I was talking about. He was using them to do labor on farm, using them like inmates as slave. Just 2 weeks ago, a week or two ago.
Yeah, we could talk about that another time, but right now, let me tell you something, people. The warning, we can't just continue warning you and you don't continue to prepare. The time is upon us. It's going to be a quart of wheat for $200 a day. Our bread is going to probably cost $200 a day. It's going to become Jamaican style, man. Jamaican style, because our economy is inflated to a certain degree and stuff like that, and we've learned to live with it. Many economies are worldwide, even Africa is highly inflated, right? America is going to become like that. But we also have to understand this: if Babylon falls, many of the systems that is connected to Babylon and had to live off Babylon's riches and stuff like that will also be destroyed. Which is why the scripture says that when Babylon falls, there are going to be many countries that are going to be in woe, and they're going to cry because of what happened to Babylon, and they're going to see it from afar off, and they're going to be very, very sad that the US has fallen, because they've depended upon the US with for so many things, especially its reserved currency. So don't just think that everybody's gonna be fine if the US falls and everything is gonna be fine and dandy. No, many European countries, many Caribbean countries, many other countries are going to fall too. They're going to start suffering when the US falls. It's just at the point we're at the point in time where everybody's just sick of the US at this point in time, and they don't care if everything fails because of them. They're just sick and tired of the US and the arrogancy of the US. What thing? Oh yes. Well, we can do that tonight too. I'll do that tonight. Yeah, I'll do that. Yeah. So later on tonight, we're gonna talk about how Israel is dropping bombs in on schools, and there's a video with some little children flying all the way up into the air, and it's quite saddening that the people that we claim are supposed to be the people of the Most High is doing this. And number two, the scripture says that when they re-enter the land, that they will be put at ease and nobody shall make them afraid.
Can you imagine?
So, the scripture says that they're not going to be at war, and the scripture also says that nobody's going to make them afraid. I mean, the only reason you're going to be bombing anybody is because you're afraid of them. Because the scripture also says that when the 1,000 years starts, we're going to actually turn our weapons into into farming tools.
Yeah, turn their weapons the plow sheds.
Yeah.
They're gonna be making this land.
We're gonna be like making the land prosperous. There won't be no need for war. There will be no war underneath us until after 1,000 years the devil get loosed again. Him gonna be going to his Edomite people. Him gonna fool them again and say, yo, you need to come and try and enslave the black people them again. You need to and then the people that get resurrected, the second resurrection now, when them get up now and them try to form them armies, then they are going to get fooled too, because they're going to see the prosperity of black people and how much more people live wealthy. Even those of you who are going to be cleaving to the house of Israel, you're not going to be living into a state of poverty. You're not going to be living in a state you might be living in a state lower than us, but you're not going to be living in a state of poverty. Look at black people right now, living in ghettos, poor conditions, houses not working properly. What I'm saying is this: when we begin to rule, when our people begin to rule, we are going to rule with such justice, with Yahweh Shai ruling as well, that you're gonna live in decent homes. You're not gonna worry about no rent. You're not gonna worry about you don't understand that you even working for us is probably just gonna be you just going to your job daily.
But it's the pride and arrogance.
It's going to be the pride and arrogance that I get them.
It's the
Pride and arrogance that they're working for black people.
It's going to hurt them. It's nothing that they can do. It's nothing that they can say. It's not.
But anyway, people, thank you for tuning into the Bible study. We love you guys. Please take heed to the warnings that we're trying to give you every week about what's going on. Please do your best to prepare for the time that is coming, because it is close. It is fast approaching. It is close upon us. It's at the very door, as Yahweh Shai said. Know ye that it's as it's even at the very doors right now. I want you people to continue to pay attention to what's going on. Take heed and prepare, because we're moving into the final phases, the beginning of the end, and it's only going to continue to get worse from here. Enough love and respect, people. Peace. We are out.